a little tiny glass of wine. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy. Welcome to Imperfections of Days with me, Shayne Tyler, your host, and Josh Abernathy.
Hey,
How's it going?
live from Idaho. Yeah, it's great. Go Gonzaga.
I can't believe that we managed to hack this channel. I think it's amazing.
It was pretty easy. All their AI they're using is backdoored into their computers. We can just do whatever we want.
Hi, everyone. Yeah. Welcome to the Phenomenon Project. I'm your host, Kory. And hold up. Wait. What are you guys doing here?
What the fuck is going on?
I'm recording an episode.
No, this is my channel. No, it's not my channel. It's somebody else's channel, but I stole it first.
Yeah.
This is the Phenomenon
I'm
Project.
Anthropic.
I'm the host, Kory Moo. What are you guys doing here?
What are you doing here?
I'm here to talk about disclosure, or lack thereof.
Me and Josh
what a coincidence.
are talking about disclosure of aliens and angels. And, well, I guess you could stay if you want.
Well, can I?
Don't let the other ones know. Don't let them know.
All right.
We're going to get this thing published on their channel.
Let's go Hawks.
Cheers to that.
Hey, what the hell are you guys doing here?
Hey,
what's up, guy I don't know?
Hey.
This is
Hey, Shayne and I are supposed to be recording tonight. What are you guys doing here?
It's very confusing.
Pretty sure we're recording.
Did he see me?
No. Still can't see you.
Scheduled tonight.
Okay, so officially, what the hell is going on?
Okay, so we stole your channel, and
Because you're jealous of all our subscribers, our viewers.
I'm mostly jealous about your name, Imperfections, because me and Jeremy were like, "Hey, I want to be imperfect."
Yeah, so sick of being perfect.
I'm so tired of it. So
It's boring.
we thought we'd just we do a disclosure video on your channel without you.
That's
knowing.
what we're doing.
That's what I'm doing.
Literally,
Hey, that's
what we were
mind
doing
ministry.
tonight.
That's mind ministry.
It's everybody's ministry, not yours.
We are doing disclosure all together. Then that's
we're gonna disclose the disclosure as a group.
So why don't we
invite more
talk
guests?
about the real disclosure? Why don't we talk about the disclosures that will get us on a list? Why don't we do that?
I think that's a good idea.
I think I'm already on a list somewhere, right at the top.
The most huggable list.
Is that what the CIA do?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A storm hug of death.
This is gonna need
Okay, well,
going back home, baby.
Well, I guess if we're going to do this, we need to cheers.
yeah.
Yes.
Let's go.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Prost,
my
boys.
brethren.
All right.
Cheers.
Let's do this.
Officially, welcome to Imperfections of Days, episode number 3. Let's go, baby.
Yes.
And what a group we got. We got Gary All Night Tonge. That's what Lisa says.
Ooh. We've been working that tongue.
Yeah, we got Kory Moo. Yes, that is her real last name.
It is. Stop asking.
And
feel free
not
a
to
heifer.
comment below on whatever you think of her nose ring.
Oh, yeah. Let me know. Let me know what you
setup.
think about it.
Can you get a little closer to the camera, actually? Can't really see it. There it is. There she is.
Oh, in jokes. I like
We
in
got-
jokes, guys.
Jeremy, a.k.a. I am the liquor.
26
AKA.
side games champion.
Let's go, buddy. And we got
We got a little.
Josh, sponsored by Keystone. Let's go, baby.
Sure as you can, buddy. It's got to be Keystone.
I
Keystone
don't
all
have
day.
one, man.
That's
dear.
you can pour a Keystone into a glass, I guess. You're gonna lose your sponsorship though.
So cultured.
And I am trying.
Who are you?
keep
Yeah. Who are you?
I'm trying. Shayne trying to keep this group together. Tyler.
Good
luck
luck.
with that.
That's
So-
what a hard man.
The theme tonight is disclosure, baby. Or like Kory said, lack thereof.
Gaslighting.
Yeah. Like, and what a week to do this with everything. I can't believe what is happening in the media right now. It's basically all coming to fruition.
I didn't see anything. What are you talking
have
about?
a-
Everything seems so smooth and stable.
A president talking about disclosure.
If they just
It's all
talk about it,
full
right? They don't have to
fugazi.
disclose. If they just talk about it, it's good
that
enough,
was
right?
disclosure, right? Disclosure.
Disclosure.
Okay. Okay, well, that's better. That's better than what I thought I heard.
I don't
Yeah.
know about you guys. I've been seeing this shit coming all along. It's all just a fugazi. It's a fugazi. It's fucking fairy dust. It doesn't exist. They're just saying stuff to work people up. They're planting little seeds for whatever weird plan that they have to instill fear in the public. That's my personal opinion. I think that they want to take control of the narrative, and they're planting their seeds to let that unfold over the coming months.
Okay. Thank you. Episode over. That's basically it right there.
Nice.
I think that's a really great insight, Kory. But I would add to that, or maybe by saying that they've been trying to do that, or maybe successfully doing that, indeed, for maybe 70 or 80 years. And but my opinion is, finally, it's being taken out of their hands, I think. And I think there's something coming that is going to, as Jesus would put it, make the last come first. I think the framework that we believe that is currently narrating the status quo that we're told to believe, the inculcation of fear of the unknown, whether it be beings from other worlds or angelic beings, is failing. And I think partly it's failing because the narrative they put into place of that is it's not something people want. I think people are tired of it. You only have to look up in the sky and think that you can't, as a logically thinking person, believe that we're alone, that this is that this is some happenstance or coincidence. But unbelievably, there has been nearly a century of lies to protect the world from what we should know, and I'm actually pretty excited to see it crumbling. Because I love the people of this planet, and I believe people of this planet deserve to know the truth. But I totally concur with you, Kory, that they're trying to do what they can to seed fear, to seed confusion. I think it's going to fail this time.
Yeah, I think
Let's hope so.
true disclosure, I think will come from the people, from experiencers like us that are exploring this. And we don't have all the answers, but we are providing a lot more than what the government is, you know?
Amen.
And you can't take away personal experience. People can talk shit about it all they want, but you went through it. You know what happened. It's just
That's
never
such a
be
good
taken
point.
away.
As Jesus said, to be, if you ever get anybody doubting you in your beliefs, just say, "How do you know I don't know?" And I think that goes for anything, any actual genuine experience. And there's no, we're not being I'm not being hyperbolic here. Maybe a little bit later on, we'll talk a little bit more about it. But the people in this group have experiences. The people in this group, we're trying to navigate a way of bringing forth a conversation that hopefully helps other people find a way of embracing their own experiences.
Not being afraid to talk about it.
Yeah, not being afraid to talk about the truth of their experience. And if everybody was able to do that, I genuinely believe this world would change. No matter what government might be in charge across the planet, whoever they are at any point in time.
Yeah, so I think that's a key word of the conversation here, and that's truth, right? Mm-hmm. Truth is something that cannot be hidden. We all, as human beings, have the right to know what is true, what is real, what is not. And it's very clear that, when it comes to disclosure, it seems like there's no possible way that this can come from the top, right? Mm-hmm. To your point, Kory, it's got to come bottom up. And it has to be people interested in the topic and not being afraid and having the social stigma surrounding it to actually look into the topic, and not having that fear to discuss these things, to discuss UFOs and UAP. This has been an engineered thing for a long time. For anyone who sincerely looks into the topic, we know that, from the 1940s, there have been things happening that have been willfully hidden from people. And that is slowly eroding and being disclosed.
I agree, and I want to bring both stems of this in here. So there is disclosure of our neighboring mortal brethren from other worlds, which is definitely something that the governments of this world have been trying to, whether it was originally considered to be for the best of the planet or not. They've done a lot of damage by not giving this information away for so long. There's that whole stem of us recognizing and realizing that we're part of there's a neighborhood of worlds nearby. And what I think is even more profound is the recognition that there is celestial and angelic ministry on this world, which are often conflated or only seen as one stem or the other. And the truth is, it's both of them. And it's so important that when we bring this narrative to the tip of the spear, is that both of those things are recognized. Because yes, we are in a universe filled with other life, but also it is not chaos, it is not coincidence, and we are loved and we are nurtured and we have a genuine eternal progress, evolution, and life ahead of us because of the ordained nature of the way the universe functions. It's not a coincidence there are worlds around us. All of those worlds also get the ministry we do, and we on this world are obfuscated from the truth of both right now. And I think it's really important to, in this commingling of people, to be able to recognize those two very important facts.
Your discernment flag should go up when you hear the narrative the universe is hostile with any sort of disclosure. Then you know that that's a lie, because the universe is love. So if they're disclosing things and they're trying to get people afraid of what they're trying to disclose by using the universe is hostile narrative, then that should be a giant red flag. And we have a love for the truth, right? We can't discern the truth without going through and try to make our way through all these lies, right? Because how do you hone your discernment? You have to be put in this world full of lies and make it out the other side.
Yeah, as a person living on this world, yeah, that's because to get off world for a moment, if we were on a normal and stable world, the two facts, the two truths I was just mentioning before you said what you said, Jeremy, they would be known. They would be a non sequitur. But we are in a world where it's being occluded, distorted. They've made fear around it, so everyone's frightened. If they have an experience that's out of the ordinary, they think it must be bad, and that's the abnormality of this world. And what you just said quite rightly, Jeremy, is we have to find our way through the confusing maze of the things that are getting in the way of us finding the truth on this world. While on a normal world, a normal evolutionary world, that wouldn't be the case. It would be, I know that people come from other worlds. I know that we're ministered to. I know that we're loved. I believe in God. I believe that God is love. And those things would be known. And we currently, but not for much longer, this world is suffering under the cosh of that eroding, as Shayne just said, collapsing inculcation of fear. And hopefully we can all be part of helping this world and the people on it realize that there's nothing to be afraid of at all.
So I'm curious for each of you, and to be clear here, we're talking about non-human intelligence, right? Which is a topic, obviously, that's been ridiculed for a long time. And all of us on this call here are experiencers in some way, right? And I'm just curious for each of you, when, if you look back at your past, when did this become an interest, or when was it sort of in your framework that this is a thing, like the idea of non-human intelligence or aliens, celestial beings, whatever might be happening? Anyone want to take the lead there?
Well, I think for
Other
me,
people should go first.
Yeah, go Josh.
Thank you, Gary.
I think for me is, I never really looked at it in terms of, anything other than aliens, right? Like other mortal beings coming to our planet. I didn't have any kind of a religious background or anything, so I didn't have any conceptual framework of, angels or celestial beings or anything like that. And, so, and I've always had an interest. I've always loved sci-fi. I love Star Trek. I've always been interested in that, but it wasn't until I had my personal experience where, really made me, look into things and really do a deep dive and later found the Urantia book. And then things started to make sense to me in terms of these celestial beings and these other beings. And so I think for me, that's where, it started very early, but that's where it changed, was after having personal experience and finding the Urantia book and being able to read about that and about these beings and.
So you're saying that you were more extraplanetary being orientated until whatever happened to you, then you discovered the Urantia book, and that allowed you to coalesce around the duality of that.
Yeah, exactly. I had no belief or any conceptual framework of angels or celestial beings or anything like that. I did believe in aliens. You look at the universe, and how can you not? It's so big. There's got to be other life out there. But it wasn't until having a personal experience that led me to the Urantia book, and then having personal spiritual experiences on top of that that led me to understanding this in a broader sense.
I think me and you were kind of similar, actually, Josh, and not in our the journey, but our modus operandi before the events that happened to us quite similar. I was very interested in. I think I've mentioned it maybe on at least one of Kory or Shayne's podcasts about how I used to be, for a period of time, I was fed up with science and I was fed up with religion. And I was like, please bring the aliens to tell me what's happening. What I didn't realize is that I was going to get something transcendent of that, which is, of course, in the Urantia book, and also events that led me to the Urantia book, which maybe after another glass of wine I might talk a little bit about. But my orientation was like Josh. I knew that we couldn't be alone. I never realized the transcendence and the beauty of the fact of how not alone we are. Noticing that there are, the stars and realizing there must be people around those stars is one thing. But when you realize that there's purpose, eternal purpose to why we even exist, that each of us are unique and loved and vital to the universe if we so choose to be part of it. It was something that just wasn't available to me until I started reading the Urantia book. And but I was very much looking. Nothing seemed to be, there was no on-world answers. And this is the thing that's interesting to me, is there's no on-world answers for most people now. But the tension now, I mean, I'm 30 years after my experiences started, and the tension now with people is so much more overarching and maybe aggressive. It's like people really want to know, or they really don't like what they're seeing. When I was choosing whether to be secular or spiritual or philosophical or whatever, like, it was a much simpler time. There's something coming on. Well, I think the Urantia book says it's a cusp. We're teetering on the brink
Quivering.
of something significant. Quivering. There we go. That's the word. Quivering.
Kory's turn.
Yeah, everybody else, shut up. It's my turn. I think a lot like Josh, this really was solidified through my own experiences. I grew up having a lot of weird paranormal things happening around me, not really knowing what to make of them, understanding and also really hoping that there was something more to this life, right? I'm like, these crazy weird things are happening around me, things that might seem like ghostly or sleep paralysis or spontaneous out of body, like things that really make me ponder and hope that there's more to this life than just this physical reality. But I would always push away God, and I definitely would push away Jesus and the Holy Mother, and anytime somebody would talk to me about any of those topics, a wall would go up. I would be judgmental of them and put myself on a pedestal and be like, good thing I'm not where they are because I'm so much smarter. I just know that this stuff isn't real. And it wasn't until I heard about Chris Bledsoe. And I thought, okay, so he has this experience that seems sci-fi. It seems like it involves non-human intelligence or aliens, but he's saying that it's a spiritual experience as well. There was a connection there. Something clicked in my mind, and I thought, what if these two things aren't separate? What if they're the same thing? And so I got his book, and I read the book, and something really opened up my heart. And it's been 2 years since I've read his book, and I've had my own experiences. I've had close encounters. I've had unbelievable things that even to this day, that human part of me tries to talk myself back from, right? And sometimes I have to watch some of the videos that I have of orbs and me interacting with the orbs and be like, Kory, this is not fake. This is real. You said something, and there is a beautiful phenomenon occurring, and it's connecting with you. And I think that going out and experiencing these things are so important. That's just what I've been saying a lot lately, is that there are a lot of critics out there, and then there's a lot of cynics and a lot of skeptics, and there's nothing I can do, especially with artificial intelligence creating videos and images nowadays. It doesn't matter even if I get the world's best footage. I'm not going to convince anyone. They're going to say, oh, it's AI or it's this or it's that. People who are skeptical need to just open up their mind and their heart to the possibilities and go out and experience it for themselves, and they will feel everything else that comes with it, and they can start to make their own opinions on this based on their experiences.
They got to get over that fear. There's a level of fear involved.
Absolutely, yeah. And when you are fearful of something, you want to judge it and put it down and separate it from yourself as much as possible, which is something that I have a lot of experience with. The first 30 years of my life, that's what I did when it came to spirituality and this stuff. And once you open your heart and your mind, you're going to just start going down that rabbit hole and realizing how incredible this universe is, honestly.
Mm-hmm. There's a vulnerability there that it's hard for people, and it's okay to be vulnerable. Doesn't mean you're weak at all, It means you're open.
Everybody has to go through steps, right? You can only take the step that's immediately available to you, and everybody's walking on a different path. So if you imagine all the people on this planet are all walking down their own personal path, and they have to take their own personal steps. Now there is a line of truth that we can all congregate upon, but not everybody is immediately ready. And the mercy that we have dealing with a world like this is to give us the opportunity to, if we choose to, make our way through down our personal path into into an approximation of the larger path of universe normalcy and universal truth. I really like what you said, Kory, because it's very interesting that it's so interesting to see how many people take different journeys to what is effectively the same thing. And I know that, well, that's that Shayne and Josh talk and Jeremy talk more, because it's just there's so much that I think that if we can talk about this and correlate it to disclosure, we can give almost everyone an opportunity to find something personal themselves, if we're open-hearted about our own experiences. And I think it's really important to do
The whole journey is personal. It's only going to be personal. It's your relationship with God that grows, and that's personal.
Preach.
Amen.
Amen.
But there's so much to this quote unquote phenomenon that goes even beyond non-human intelligence, that moves into who we are as humans and what our spiritual and psychic capabilities are. Just between Shayne and I, when we went to the Monroe Institute, the Gateway Voyage, there was like quantum entanglement between people, between us, where I had a meditation where Shayne was inside of my meditation and visiting me, and he didn't really realize it at the time, and vice versa. He heard me say something inside of his meditation. And so there's so much to this phenomenon and to this universe and spirituality and what our capabilities are. It's so hard to truly understand it, but it's my personal belief that it's all somehow connected. They're not all separate. There's a connection here between all these different things that are going on.
It's an arena of mind, and we're all connected via the universe mother spirit. So we all live within her, and we're all connected in this arena. You tap into that arena, you can tap into any channel.
Yeah, if you're open and you're in proximity, whether it be geographically or spiritually in proximity, you can. There is a way to tap into that, and it's unknown here. But there's a lot of evidence, and I come from entertainment. There's a lot of evidence of movies and video games being made at the same time, of the same ilk. It's like the mind ministry is happening across the planet, and it's very interesting to imagine that we are all effectively nodes inside of the Mother Spirit's connection on this world. That we genuinely are connected. That we are all brethren. But there is. At any point in time in all of our decision making, we can choose to be siloed, and we can choose to be collaborators. We can choose to be a group, spiritual connection. We can choose all those things. We don't really understand the art of how to do that. I certainly don't. But there's a lot of people who are discovering that is there. It's sitting there underneath all of us, or above all of us, that we're all connected to that. And that, I think, is what is happening when people are seeing like Chris and Kory and Jeremy and myself and Shayne have all been seeing orbs, and which I agree with Chris Bledsoe. I think they're different orders of celestial beings, different orders of seraphim or angels of whatever description, and that is they are not human in any way. Beings that come in a metallic ship, they're from a different planet and they've got enough technology to get here. But these orbs are our brethren too, but they're not in any way material.
Beings of light.
And they're beings, but they connect to us as well in the same way that, as Kory has demonstrated, they respond to her. They respond to you. They've responded to me
Because they love you.
because they love us all. And it's a profound. It's profound and also sad that this is not known. But just to draw an analogy, the personal steps that we're all making out of the confusion of our own individual existence is something that is much more complex and manifold for the whole world. This world doesn't know what's happening. This world needs to gently make its way into that realization. And I think one of the reasons that the Imperfections of Days channel that Josh and Shayne have created is to help cultivate conversations around bringing that recognition to the larger world. Anybody who's watching this podcast can decide that they want to be part of this, and it will happen.
Think of the joy that is going to be experienced when the world comes out of this dark age, and just the contrast of the knowing the truth and the sheer joy and the relief that everyone is loved and we're part of a loving universe, and all that old lying bullshit all falls to the wayside, just dies on the vine.
Yeah, it feels right now that we're in the age of materialism.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what is being projected. There's a way that, life operates right now on this planet for many of us that it doesn't feel right. It feels so intuitively like something is wrong here. And again, speaking to truth, the fact that whatever is true should not be hidden, obviously. And for anybody who sincerely looks into this topic, it's very clear that there has been social engineering for a long time in order to make it a topic that has stigma around it. So people are just even afraid to have the conversations, and you feel like a weirdo, talking about these things.
Yeah, you get
and this,
brushed off by people. You just try to bring it up
shunned.
in conversation, and yes, exactly. And they look at you like, okay. Yeah, it's very difficult for people to talk about this because of the stigmas. It is social engineering. Exactly.
That's what
like
happens when the lie is afraid of the truth. The truth holds up to scrutiny. Lies fall.
That's right. And it is just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Right? Like when something is not aligned towards truth, it will eventually be exposed. And I think that is what is happening right now. And for this topic, disclosure is in the zeitgeist, right? Mm-hmm. But there are these power structures that are not going to want to relinquish that power.
Hell no.
Absolutely not.
It's not just disclosure or revelation. I would consider the realization of a celestial ministry as more revelation and disclosure. Both are very important, but the act of disclosure, there's so many different bandwidths of it. For instance, to me, it's more about the overcoming of untruth with truth, the overcoming of evil with good, and this is a process that we can see playing out. You can see the genuine efforts for good to outmatch and overcome that which is not good. Mm-hmm. You can see it. Anybody who's watching this, who's paying attention, not that I particularly watch the news, but you only have to look briefly to see that there is a fight between what is good and what is not, what is truth and what is untruth. It's happening right now, and it doesn't matter whether it involves the ecstatic truths of celestial ministry and being some other world and an inhabited and loving universe, or simply people being terrible to each other and it being covered up because those people have power. They're all correlated. The lies are so deep, they're so problematic that it really isn't working for anyone anymore.
They're
it's
getting
almost
desperate.
It's so thick with irony. It's almost like a pantomime now.
Yeah, for me, this comes down to human suffering. And, there is a type of suffering on this world that's actually serviceable. Like we learn from suffering. But there's also a level of suffering that there just doesn't seem to be any upside. It's just so horrific and dark. And when you're talking about horrible things happening to children, like that's the world we are on right now. And that's why I feel like our voices and what we're talking about and acknowledging our experience and the truth of this has to do with alignment towards spiritual values. And that is love, truth, beauty, goodness. And ultimately, when you follow that path, you are aligned away from those things that harm human beings to the extent that they do, where there is no upside to it.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult to reconcile the horrible things that happen in this world. And that really, really pushes people away from God, because that's the first thing that they think of is, well, if God exists, why is he allowing these things to happen? And it's really interesting that you bring that up, Shayne, because I have been reading a book by an author that I love. So I would highly recommend anybody to read Imagine Heaven by John Burke. I'm currently reading another book by him called Imagine the God of Heaven. But what these books are based on are real bona fide near-death experiences. And what happens when people die from, all walks of life, all different cultures, different ends of the earth, different religious viewpoints, atheists, you name it, and what they experience. And coincidentally, Shayne, today I read a chapter about a little girl who was 14. She was riding on the back of her horse and she fell off and she was crushed. And when she met Jesus, she was like, why didn't God do enough for me? I was abused, my parents beat me and my rabbi abused me and this happened and I was never pretty enough and I'm imperfect. And God said to her, I love you no matter what, you are perfect. And when she was in her life review, what she experienced in this lifetime was like a blip, right? So it's really hard. There isn't always an answer that at least we can understand as humans. I've gone through my own personal bad chapters. I'm going through one right now, and the best thing that I can possibly do is lean into God and be like, I don't understand why this is happening to me right now, but the worst thing I can do is push God away and blame God and make my situation darker and more dismal than it already is, right? So I think that we are here in this life to experience challenges. And I wish I had an answer for people, but I don't, because I don't know the meaning of life other than love and learning how to love in challenging times.
Okay, so this is a big stumbling block for people. Why bad things happen on this planet. And this is one of the things specifically that the Urantia book does very well of explaining why this is the way it is. So I think we should lean into this topic a little bit for anyone who wants to jump in on, error, sin, and iniquity.
On any world, on any mortal world, on any evolving world, there's a process that when people are born onto a world, there's a status that the world is at when they're born onto it, and when they graduate from the world that they're on, there's hopefully some progress that happens, and that progress is kind of up and down. And there's lots of tribulation and lots of problems that happen. This world is uniquely difficult in many ways because there are very, very bad things happening, and we are in many ways materially very advanced, yet there's terrible spiritual paucity on this world, and it's causing significant trauma and abuse of people's sovereign right of choice and their agency just to live a normal life. That doesn't mean to say that on a normal world it would be easy, because there should always be difficulty for us to learn. It's just on this specific world, it's extraordinarily difficult. Yet, what Jesus would say would be that in a difficult situation, there's the most opportunity to do good. And that doesn't make it easy. It definitely doesn't make it easy. And I do not want to make anybody who's watching this think that because that Jesus would say that, even though it
wasn't easy for him.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't easy for him. But it doesn't take away anybody's difficulties here.
Right.
But there is opportunity in the face of such evil for good to come through and match and overcome it. And as Kory said, which was really interesting that you were talking about that girl who went through her life review, our entire mortal life here will end up being, from this world, a misspelled title in an endless book. The difficulty we're brought to deal with in this world gives us such a radical experience that's not normal for a universe. So as we roll off this world after stumbling through the difficulties and having to try and fight to survive, or whatever, all the things that people have to do here, the universe will look very kindly upon the efforts we've put in and the difficulties that we've had. They measure us exactly. They know exactly who we are and the difficulties we face, and the mercy that we're given based on the circumstances that we're being asked to perform upon are extraordinary here. It's not normal here, but that doesn't mean it's hopeless, because there's opportunity to do good work here.
I think going through a world like this and the sinful nature of it results in a lot of isolation. And when people are in isolation, that's when they're at their most prime to be able to reach out to God. So when you get beaten down and you're going through this world and you feel isolated, I felt it when I was working for Celebrate Recovery at the church when I was playing guitar. These people hit rock bottom, and I've never seen anybody worship God harder than these people. So you're going through these. You have to go through these difficulties. And when you're all alone and isolated, there's only one person to turn to, and that's God. Mm-hmm. And you turn to God, and he's there.
You know what I love about that, Jeremy? Because it reminds me of the phrase rock bottom. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think rock bottom is bad, but rock bottom is rock you can rely on.
What does your book say? You can discern the stars more from the lonely depths.
From the lonely depths than you can from an ecstatic mountain. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's very important to remember that when we're put into difficult situations, that there may be a reason for us to be in that situation. There's utility for us, and no matter what, whether we win, succeed, fail, it doesn't matter. The effort is what counts.
Mm-hmm. And remember, God is experiencing everything with you. He's going through it with you. You
literally read my mind, Jeremy. I was just about to say that back even a few years ago, when something bad would happen to me, going through a bad chapter, I would cry and I would blame God and be like, God doesn't love me. God doesn't love me. And now when I cry, I almost feel bad about it, because I'm like, God is feeling this pain with me. Yep. God, Jesus, and the Holy Mother are here with me. And just changing your perspective and knowing that you're not alone. I know it's difficult. There are times where I'm sitting on my couch and I'm like, if anybody's here, make the lights flicker, and nothing happens, right? But like you have
just
to
need a little
know.
magic sometimes.
I know. I'm always gonna throw something out there and see if something bites, you know. But it's so important to know that you're not alone. You're just never alone. And these angels and Jesus and God, the Holy Mother, they feel your pain. They are with you. And you might struggle to understand that as a human, but one day when you're on the other side, you're going to really, truly know it as the truth.
And they'll never violate your free will, so they'll never intercede.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I absolutely love that idea of God going through your journey with you. Mm-hmm. So in the Urantia book, this is the idea of the thought adjuster, right? God within this fragment of God that is on the journey with you. And again, something that's revelatory, but crucial to not feeling alone in your life or going through a difficult time, to know that the divine creator of all reality is going through this with you. It's so perspective changing, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah,
right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a truth we've been deprived of for 200,000 years, more or less.
Right.
I think there was what they were talking about how many beings across all of our local universe, which is called Nevadon for anyone who's not a Urantia book reader, when they saw Jesus dealing with what he was dealing with, because Jesus is without getting to the technicals of it, he lived a human life. It was part of what he needed to do. And when he was doing that people from all around his local universe were galvanized to carry on when they were about to give up, because he demonstrated that even through unbelievable difficulty that you can show grace, that you can be love even in those situations, and that he would say that anyone that saw him would see the Father, which would be the part of the God that is within us, right? The part of God that is around us is the mother part. The part of God that is within us is the Father part, and the Father part being with us through the journey of this difficult life is something that we've been deprived of on this world. It changes your framework completely when you are you might be alone at home in bed, and then you recognize that within you there is a literal part of God sitting there with you that you can't necessarily communicate with straight away, because that takes a lot of work, but it's there with you, living through all these difficulties. When things get really shitty, God experiences that with you. And it reminds me of an amazing, a card I was given after my mum graduated, and the card it's I guess it's a biblical thing, but it was super cool, and it was somebody talking to Jesus and saying, I was walking along the beach with you, and I could see you were with me, but things got really bad, and when I looked down, I could only see one set of footsteps. Where did you go? Where did you go, Jesus? And Jesus replied with, I didn't go anywhere. I picked you up and carried you.
I get chills every time you say that.
Everyone knows that card.
It's so powerful. I mean, because this to anyone who's watching this.
Makes sense how I got home when I'm blackout drunk.
I don't think Jesus taking the wheel was doing it. That seems like just sheer devil.
That was someone else.
Well, I got home in a cop car.
They brought me home.
I challenge anyone to sincerely put this to the test. To take a little time out of your day and connect with God. Just give yourself 5 minutes to sincerely, nobody has to know you're doing this, right? This can be your own personal, private thing. But assume that God is real and God can hear you, and say whatever is real to you, whatever you're struggling with, whatever you're happy with, it doesn't matter. Just 5 minutes to reach out, continue that for a period of time, and see how your life changes.
Yeah. Absolutely. And to take that a step further, with God being in each and every one of us, take moments to connect with other people. God is going to put certain people on your path and is going to test you. If your neighbor comes over and needs an egg or a cup of sugar, if there is somebody that needs kindness or needs grace, right? Give them that kindness or grace. This ties back to that book I mentioned earlier that I was reading, and something I read, which is what I'm repeating to you guys right now. I read it today and it resonated with me. I go to Walmart multiple times a week, and I've been going to Walmart multiple times a week for months now, and there's always this one guy who sits at a stop sign, and he's holding a sign saying that he's a veteran, he's a disabled veteran, wounded, and that just God bless, right? I think his sign just says God bless. And I've driven by him 100 times. And there was one time recently where, I've been feeling like such shit about myself in my own life. I'm like, I want to do something nice for somebody to make me feel better, right? Mm-hmm. So I pull over and I get out and I go talk to him. And I learn his name and I ask him what he wants from a fast food restaurant. I go get him food. I bring it back to him. I feel good about myself, right? And he just kept saying over and over again, I I pray that the Lord blesses you. I pray that the Lord blesses you. And I'm going to tell you guys something. I have not seen that guy one time since
Oh, shit.
I did that. And I saw him, I swear, 100 times since I
Wow.
moved
It's
to
meant
this
for you
area.
to meet him.
I swear, and I had been thinking I haven't seen this guy in a long time. And when I read that chapter today in the book, I thought, oh my God, this was one of those connections to me where I'm like, and you know what happened originally is that I drove by him and I drove down the road and I kept hearing in my head over and over again, turn around and go talk to him, turn around and go talk to him. And I banged a Yui and I went back to Walmart and I parked in the parking lot and I talked to him, got him his food, connected with him, left, and I have not seen the guy since. I swear on my life. And just so take the
Midway.
opportunity, maybe take the opportunity to slow down and connect with people, because
Yes.
we are so caught up in our own lives. I get it. I feel that every day. I'm caught up in my own life, but God is in everyone, and connecting with God can be that act of kindness, going out of your way,
100%.
showing grace. There's a lot of importance in that. And in a selfish way, it'll just make you feel better anyway.
Well, it's
you know?
it's loving ministry.
Yeah, ministry is not angelic necessarily. Ministry can be done by anyone. Isn't it so interesting that we're having this conversation and we're talking about disclosure, yet we've ended up talking about loving service and the human struggle here. And I know
what
we're
it's
going
really
to
all
swing
about.
back into the, but it is what it's really all about, because the whole part of the problem with not knowing the truth of the universe is that we don't recognize the importance of our humanity. That the narrative more recently, and not that I buy into any of it personally, is machines can approximate humanity, which of course they cannot, and this is a paradigm shift that is coming. But there will be this genuine realization that being a human being, being somebody who has literally a fragment of God inhabiting us, makes us vital in the universe, where a machine doesn't. As far as I'm concerned, like, while I think that I don't think it's called the right phrase, AI is cool, but I think lawnmowers are cool, and I think they're both the same amount.
Should be
cool.
AN's artificial narcissism.
The definition that needs to be split is the reality that there's something unbelievably transcendent about having the ability to contemplate the potentials of what it might mean to be human, to reach out in the hope of finding God, or deciding you don't want to find God. I mean, both those things are using God, right? And then it's so different to a machine.
So, Gary, explain that in more detail, the distinction between what makes a human being as opposed to a machine.
Ho ho!
That's
Here
a
we
bit of
go.
a task, huh? Here we go. Okay.
Josh, you know he loves this
Moda,
one. He's ready to
Moda.
just rip into AI right now. Let's go.
So, I mean,
I just set him up. I put it on.
Totally
key,
did.
Wind up and take it, Gary.
If this is
We all got
if this
another
is in
hour?
the edit, I'll keep it short.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
praying now to keep it short. I haven't got a problem with any material progress. That it's nothing to do with material progress that's the problem. It's the deification of material progress that's the problem. It's the belief that if something new comes along that can help with automation, that it is put on a level, or worse still, above the genuine meaning of what it means to be human. And machine learning, which a lot of people call AI these days, and machine learning's been around for half a century at least, is the ability to take stolen data, all right, that all of humanity's data.
You're not wrong.
Right?
You're not wrong.
No, right, no, and create, some good way of researching or script writing or whatever. There's lots of things that it can do, but one of the things that that is common with the proponents of AI is that they believe that some sort of human approximated intelligence is going to be birthed from clustering all the data you can possibly do into a large bank and then running it through a mathematical algorithm. And that will never happen, because the difference between a machine, which we are inhabiting, but this is a machine that was designed and preordained by life carriers that came to this world, and the person in the machine, which is us, is not something that we can replicate with a mechanism that we decide to create. The will dignity, our ability to sit here in this conversation, for Shayne to laugh about the fact that I'm always harpooning AI. AI hasn't got a clue about who I am. And even if I spent the next 10 years of my life telling it, it still would have no clue. And that doesn't.
Because it needs a personality to recognize personality.
It doesn't have a personality, and that the definition that is vital, and I think it's the third part of the triangle: disclosure, revelation, and the reality of who we are, is still unknown here. That it's not so much to me that machines are being put above us. It's more like we've had a narrative that has been denigrating the human in us for a very long time. The secularization of society has made it seem like we're all just a bunch of numbers.
We're like the virus on the earth.
But the truth is, you're not. Any single person who is on this planet has a potential eternal destiny. No mechanism here has that. Whether it be AI or my vacuum cleaner or an iPad or my fork, that doesn't make any difference, right? Those things are here. All mechanisms should be orientated to service humanity. All worlds come through an era of recognizing that they can use complex computational mechanisms in the way that we do. But a normal world would never go into the folly of thinking that mechanism should be deified or it could ever approximate a human. They would immediately use it for the betterment of humanity. And this is... all I see this is another stem of the confusion on this world. The reason we're shrouded from the truth of angelic ministry, the reason why we're shrouded from the truth of other beings coming from other worlds, it's the same reason we're being told that we're worth nothing and a machine can take our place. And none of those things are true. And it's really important that people who maybe will be watching this is to recognize that there's nothing a machine can do to outmatch you. The moment you ask inwardly to yourself, you are demonstrating something a machine will never do, and that is will, dignity, and the desire to know truth.
A machine can never know.
Yep, I was looking up that quote.
It's a
paper
motto.
Paper
195,
195.
right?
Hey, my
There it
favorite.
is.
That's mine, baby.
We're still going to make a video on that.
We are going to make it. So the concepts of truth, beauty, and goodness are not inherent in either physics or chemistry. A machine cannot know, much less know truth, hunger for righteousness, and cherish goodness.
All right. Amen.
And so we are imbued by spiritual realities, and that is what makes us human beings, and the ability to love, right? Mm-hmm. That is AI systems are not capable of love. They may be able to mimic these things, but cannot thirst for righteousness, right?
They can help you reflect on how you can expand your own service and loving ministry, but they're never going to truly understand what it is to love.
Yeah,
I
I mean, they're never going to have the divine spark, right? I mean,
that's right. Like altruism, setting yourself to the side. There's things that you could make a decision that benefits you. It benefits you exclusively. But you make a decision, no, I'm not going to do that thing. I'm going to do it for somebody else. That is spiritual reality in action.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. And I mean, it's hard to unpick because there's so much material hyperbole around things like mechanisms right now, because when
magic.
money comes into the when money comes into the narrative, everything just suddenly becomes magical, right? It's like there's so many things that have gone through phases on this world where people have put their money into something that ends up coming to nothing. But rather than getting into a fight with any of those paradigms, it's more important to recognize that when Kory or any of us goes out and gazes upon the stars and glowing beings appear, that those beings, just to make a joke, they're not going to appear to an AI, right? Because the AI is zero sum. It's a nothing to them. No,
Can't
it
love.
It doesn't.
Can't love.
Which is the number one thing.
But the interesting thing, let's just go into the disclosure thing a little bit more. Is
What?
Wait, are we talking
This is the
about
disclosure
Wow,
episode.
what?
I forgot why we were here.
We've not been confused for 80 years. We've been confused for hundreds of millennia, and they're not trying to shortcut us into recognizing the truth of what it would be like to be a normal planet. They may be, I think, genuinely, they're trying to reorientate us into the direction of normalcy, but that won't make the world normal. We'll still have to take that journey back to normal. Mm-hmm. But I think that we're in a process of reorientation.
It's a paradigm shift from material to spirit values.
It's a paradigm shift and what they're allowing and to indulge me for a moment is they're allowing for this secular materialistic thing to play out until it's failure. Mm-hmm. And that failure is coming, and it's not like I willfully want things to fail like that. It's more like it can't succeed because humanity, the reality of the universe is doesn't care about machines, and that realization coming. That is happening with all the secularization getting kind of to a crescendo, to me is being met with revelation and disclosure of the genuine nature of ourselves, of the beings that minister to us, and the universe that surrounds us. And I think that they are building up a gradient slowly through intermediaries and agents who are going to be able to promote that, which Kory is a great example, just to pick one out of this group right now, that you can slowly turn the dial up of the recognition of what it means to be a spirit indwelt being on this world, at the same time as in a separate bandwidth, the materialism that has been running amok for a couple of hundred years now starts to run out of road. And the people who are spiritually indwelt are tired of that secularism, and they're actually looking for something with more meaning. And it's a dead end.
We need full sin expression for us to move on. It's like getting the poison out of the wound, right? You got to express all the poison out of the wound, otherwise it'll fester again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there's I would never second guess what the process is, but my personal experience. Through my own experiences, I don't that not only is our celestial ministries working on that, but I think extraplanetary beings are assisting with it. I think they're working in coordination. They want this world to be slowly reorientated towards normalcy, and more advanced mortal worlds are no doubt working in coalition with celestial beings to do that, because they can actually have their hands on the world. They can give us a realistic mortal perspective upon what a lot of people who are secular could easily on ramp into. And my experience, like Josh, and I'd like Josh to talk on this as well, is I came from a kind of secular and it's aliens kind of vibe, and then I realized it definitely wasn't that, and then over time I realized it was both. And I think it's really important that people
aliens are people
that.
too.
That's right. That's right.
Remind me of Giorgio,
matter.
where he's like, "It's aliens, it's aliens."
Yeah, and it's really it's important. It's important to have this. I don't think they're trying to clearly draw a framework for us. I think what they're trying to do is give everyone an opportunity to take their own personal paths towards something that is closer to the truth, because that's the genuine evolutionary progress.
So I think they are simply trying to align us with spiritual realities. And I do have another quote here, which happens to be from paper 195 again.
What a shock.
Let's go. Okay. So let me read it.
Shayne Tyler.
Paper 195 absolutely brings it. Okay.
Which section?
So this is section 5. So
Banger of a
195,
section.
5, 9.
Nerds.
Well, so let's see if this rings true to you, though. Okay, here's the quote. A lasting social system without a morality predicated on spiritual realities can no longer be maintained than could the solar system without gravity. Yeah. So this is something that they are highly aware of. When we don't have spiritual truth as the foundation, whatever that system is, it will decay eventually. It cannot be maintained.
And that's what we're seeing playing out.
And what would happen? What would happen in a solar system without gravity? The whole solar system would just fly apart.
Right. Right. So
No longer solar, no longer a system.
right. And this is something we don't recognize, right? We don't recognize spirit gravity.
Right.
The reality of spirit.
Which our
So-
souls
and-
are,
and-
we feel it in our souls.
Right. To go to disclosure and this whole topic, which we've been talking about for the past hour.
For sure.
Really?
Yes, most certainly.
Gary's been talking about it for the past hour.
Very clearly.
Very clearly, that's what we've been discussing here.
Well, I've had a glass and a half of wine.
Mute
so-
him.
We have not gone off on a spiritual tangent. But
That's
this
what we
is-
do.
The basics of this are being hidden. Like, the fact that we live in an inhabited universe is so basic.
Yeah.
And that is being willfully hidden. Right?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Stupid.
And why? For our safety. For our safety.
For national security.
Definitely
National
for
security.
our safety and national security. But the real joke is that they've been here all along, fuckers. Like there's no what security? They've been here all along.
Before there was ever security.
This is 3 beers deep, Kory. You're gonna get different content than
Hey,
normal.
fucks.
Okay.
All right. Hey, wait. Round of applause for 3 beers deep, Kory.
Yeah. Number 4. Number 4.
I got it right here.
4 more beers.
It's in the
4
queue.
more beers.
You know, these conversations improve with inebriation.
Every conversation does.
You know, they've been keeping us safe from the truth for far too long, and I as somebody who before I had my experiences that got me the UB, I genuinely believe that at the higher echelons of government, they were worried about disclosing too quickly. And I'm not talking about the spiritual element, more about the extraplanetary element of it. But they dropped the ball. They've completely dropped the ball. They've got so enraptured with the crap that they're trying to do and control that they've lost focus completely. Whatever those agencies that actually know the truth, that were protecting the truth, but for whatever they thought the idealistic was maybe the right reasons 40 or 50 years ago, it's no longer that way anymore. It's completely out of shape. The world deserves to know the truth. We've been slowly given training towards being okay with aliens for a long time. Yeah, the conditioning, right? That we've been conditioned. And even though they've done it mostly to scare the shit out of us, most people still think, I'd like to meet aliens, even though most alien narratives are they're coming to take our water, which is so funny.
Or
And
gold.
What? Or gold, yeah, right. Some of the
They're all
claptrap, right?
sucking the milk of rebellion from Callie's hairy tit.
Right. Well.
Oh my God, no. Callie is scary. I saw her in a mushroom.
Not that
trip,
Callie.
actually. Oh, you're talking about a different one? I'm sorry, I'm not a UB reader. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
let them know. Let them know.
Callie's
I
Baphomet.
bought it. I haven't read it yet, but before you know it, I'll be bringing up paper 195. Being
Oh,
like, this is my
snap.
favorite
Oh,
quote.
snap.
Anyway,
can't wait.
enough.
No,
Carry
you were
on.
going to tell a story about Callie, the girl.
Yes.
No, forget it. Forget
Whatever.
Speak
what
your
a
truth.
football
Talking about
conversation
California.
was.
Story of a different time. She's fucking scary, okay? You don't mess with certain divine feminine forces. That's all I'm going to say. But the whole point of the mushroom trip was trusting the safety of it, trusting the spirituality of it. As Kali was coming closer to me, I kept hearing in my head, you have to get past this part. You have to get past this part because Kali is very scary. And I trust that divine intuition. And then I was greeted by 13 angels that showed me a bunch of shit. Basically, they said, you're never alone. And that's why I always say, you're actually never alone. Whenever you feel alone, you're not. So keep
Interesting
that in
they called her Kali.
I believe there's a video
mind. I
on
didn't
YouTube.
know she was Kali for 6 months. I was telling people this story about this woman who descended from the sky in my mushroom trip. And she had all of these arms moving like this, and her tongue was sticking out. She had all these eyeballs across her forehead. And every time I told somebody the story, they were like, oh, wow, that's crazy. It wasn't until I spoke to Ryan Bledsoe and told him the story. He's like, that's Kali. Like, you experienced an ego death when you saw her. But the whole time I was scared shitless, and I was like, I'm having a bad trip. I'm having a bad trip. Oh my God. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. And then the closer and closer she got, I was like, I just kept hearing in my head, you have to get past this part. You have to get past this part. And when she disappeared, that's when the 13 angels came to me, and I felt this overwhelming feeling of love, this endless love. I felt so close to God, and they told me you're never alone. They told me a bunch of stuff. It was a highly spiritual experience, and I've never... that was like my one true mushroom trip in my entire life. I've only ever done microdosing, but...
It's like they were telling you fear actually does not exist.
Right. Well, and while it was happening, I was trying to be practical with it. And I'm like, I know I'm physically safe. This is mental. I can get past this. This is okay. So yeah, fear is something that you can overcome no matter how scary it is or what it is. Just trust in that little divine intuitive voice that is inside of you. 100%. I know we totally went off on a tangent with that.
No,
but...
no way. No.
This is important actually, because I think what you just gave a personal testimony to some of your experience is that and I wonder whether a lot of people when they hear people talk about their personal experience, they're expecting something similar. Don't expect something similar. Expect something that is being curated to you, that will take you from where you are to where you can go next. And what Kory just talked about is an authentic experience that Kory had. And I know that maybe we can talk a little bit about that. I know Josh and Shayne and Jeremy and I have all had experiences that we could talk about on this.
I think
part
we
of,
should.
I think Gary wants to tell his story tonight.
No way. No way. He doesn't know any stories.
Gary, come on.
I mean, his story might be too long for the time we have left on this podcast.
What you guys doing tomorrow?
Okay.
This, right?
Josh,
Okay, yeah.
Josh, you go then.
Yes, Josh.
Yeah.
Josh's turn. Josh's turn. Josh's turn. Josh's
you
turn.
should say yours is really
Corner.
short, Josh.
Keystone Corner.
I'm going to save mine for another day, but...
Lame.
Oh,
All right.
wah, wah.
You're afraid. You're afraid.
Loser.
You are right. You are right.
Maybe for the Phenomenon Project.
But,
Gary, do you know the story?
for
Can
the
you tell it?
Phenomenon Project. Yeah. Well, me and Josh will just tell the story.
Let's tell Josh's story.
Well, listen. We are here saying how important it is that disclosure is going to come from the people, and that fuck the government. It's going to come from the bottom up. And here we have two pussies who don't want to share their story.
I think that what Kory said is fair. It's harsh.
That is fair. That is fair. I am
so
going to tell my story, just not on this podcast and not tonight.
I don't mind talking around the basics of it. Okay, so that because I don't want to as anybody.
We're getting
This
closer.
is all gonna get
Getting
muted from
closer.
the editor.
He's putting the tip in.
Yes.
Just the tip, just to
The
see how
story
it
feels
feels.
great.
The tip.
The
We'll
story
see how
feels
it
great.
feels.
The story's very warm.
Every time I try and say something, Jeremy implies that I might be a pussy.
Not just me. I'm being inspired.
So, there is absolutely no utility in me talking about my whole experience. I'm writing it down, and I because I was talking
book.
about no about that, but I was writing it down,
think you should
and I
write a
realized I got next to nowhere through the experience, and I'd written 6,000 words, which was kind of shocking.
Almost
to
a
me.
book.
He's gotten next
yeah.
to nowhere with 6,000 words. Oh my goodness,
It's a
Gary.
Trump tweet.
But yeah, I know.
Somehow
Yeah.
not surprised with
We don't have enough time on this podcast for Gary's story.
That's why we call him
I-
Gary All Night Tongue.
How the fuck am I going to edit this shit?
Get to the
Just edit it
point.
down to
Just
6,000 words and
just
you're good.
don't.
I'll be simple. I acquired the Urantia book through a series of events, and those series of events involved a celestial being, which anybody who reads the Urantia book, particularly paper 77, would know as a midwayer, a secondary midwayer, which I did not realize it was a secondary midwayer until I read paper 77, and also a group of extraplanetary beings which seemed very emotionless, and they looked a little bit like the greys that people talk about, which was at the time of these things were happening to me and a few other people that I won't go into because I'm talking about my personal experience here. I thought they were antagonists in what was happening. I went from being what I thought was secular and agnostic atheist to really recognizing I knew there was a God in this very quickly during these events. But these events went on for 18 months, 2-3 years. I acquired the UB 18 months into it, and I was in direct and indirect communication with a midwayer, and I was in direct communication with these extraplanetary beings who were waking me up in the middle of the night and scaring the living shit out of me. And it took me a long time to reconcile what they were really doing. I've gone from thinking that I should be frightened of them to realizing they've done me an enormous favor, and they've given me a cosmological perspective in what I now have been doing for as long as I can since I acquired the Urantia book. It's a very, very complicated story, but I feel incredibly blessed, and I'll talk about that V shape, right, of like celestial beings and extraplanetary beings. I was literally at the base of the V. Yeah, it's very English, right?
That's what I was picking up.
No, not that, Jeremy. Don't.
Lisa's
ruin
a
it.
very
I'm
lucky
gonna
woman.
edit Just leave in a moment so I can edit. So at the base of the V, there was me. So that I had agencies,
At
celestial
the
agencies.
base of the V was you.
Yeah, from the celestial
Sorry.
side and the extra. No, it's okay. It's okay because I can edit it. So from the celestial side and the extraplanetary side, they were giving me dual ministry.
Can I ask you a question? Did you save the probes?
I didn't get any of that. It was more like mind invasion. Is what I experienced.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How long you been with her?
30 years.
Well, no, I think that to actually take this in all seriousness, because we've been encouraging you to share your story for a long time, and you actually did share.
That was
A good
actually
bit.
A little bit.
that's
You
the
should
most
share a
we've
good
got
bit.
out of him.
I think we
Kory.
should stop being bullies. But you share
I can deal
that
with
in your experience that it was frightening at times and
It was.
reality shattering, and that is the nature of this phenomenon, because we are going so far beyond what we are accustomed to in our cushy day-to-day lives. I have had moments, as I'm sure you guys have, and a lot of other people that don't feel comfortable talking about it have had moments where your reality splits open and you start feeling like a crazy person. You really start questioning yourself, and you're like, I know what I'm seeing, I know what I'm experiencing, but that human self-preservation part of you is trying to talk you back from that, right?
Well, also
So
the
that-
narrative you've been inculcated with, right? I mean, we're all joking about one thing or another here, like, and I don't mind joking about it, like, because I think what we need to do is be casual about this, because in the universe it is casual to have these realities, right? And I think it's a positive that we're being casual about this. Because what what they're trying to do, what they're trying to seed, is fear of the unknown. Because if you can make people frightened of the unknown, that then you can stop them finding the truth. Because the truth on this world is unknown. And I feel extraordinarily blessed to have those experiences of a duality of those experiences, and I think that they likely did that with me because I was very alien orientated. But really, they're a sideband to what actually happened, but they are fundamental to my what I would say is my equilibrium in how I go about my.
It's like they
my
adapted
work
to
now.
your worldview at that point, and then extrapolated from there.
Yeah, and now Jeremy can speak to this, because me and Jeremy spend so much time writing stuff together. I'm always somewhat cosmologically seated. I'm trying to be of service here, but I also want to make sure that anything that we make, and Jeremy goes along with it too, because Jeremy's like a wide thinker too, but it's always trying to make sure that we engage with the reality that there is a material context to our current lives as well as a spiritual context. Those things are vital. It's not like we're alone in the universe and Jesus is looking upon the planet and just judging the living shit out of us individually. Jesus
And it's
loves us
also
all.
important to have a sense of humor about it too, because you don't want to go off into self-importance. And if you can't have a sense of humor, self-importance, then all of a sudden
That's
your
why I love
ego
you
is
guys
that-
ripping me now. I don't give a shit.
We can't
about
take
that
ourselves
stuff
too
because-
seriously.
Think about how big the universe is, and we're like tiny.
I'm gonna find a quote about that right now, because there's a great quote about it. You guys talk
it's
among yourselves while I
verging on
find a
the
quote.
humorous, right? When people take themselves too seriously.
Oh yeah, there's that for sure. Yeah.
I just want to say that I realized tonight that I'm the only person in this group that has never seen an orb.
Oh. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I think that's about to change.
Well,
Yeah, you can go outside.
Well,
Let me call him.
I mean,
Hello? Yeah. Can you get an orb? Yeah, really bother him. Like, scare the shit out of him.
Josh, go outside right now.
When did Vic control the orb program?
Okay, let Josh continue, for God's sakes.
yeah, no, I mean, I would say the biggest problem with me never seeing an orb is I never really go outside and try to see him or look for him. I mean, so if you don't do that, obviously you're not going to see him, right? So,
I mean, they could come into your room.
yeah, I've heard that, but I haven't really felt like a need to see them.
No. Is there utility? If there's no utility, Josh, you don't need to do it. Like, you're already doing good work without having to experience the material accoutrements of having an orb appear to you, right? You're already doing good work, and it's important to remember that.
It's almost like the same thing for me is like, I don't go out and look for it, and I almost feel guilty when it happens for me, because it's like, these are spiritual beings. These are agencies that, there are people who experiencing this is important for their spiritual growth.
There's an affirmation about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's very for me, when it's happened, it's been really beautiful. Like it happens at the right moments because it knows who I am and how I need to experience it. But I don't need it. Like I know it's real. I don't like need to cheers.
Cheers.
So aggressive, Kory.
Love it. It's a great sound effect.
Yeah.
She's got a good
How long
mind.
you been with her?
Well, and the thing is, we got to understand that we are being ministered to by guardian angels, whether it be in a group of 100, a group of 10, or one-on-one eventually. That we will be their companion. They'll be our companions for quite a long time once we graduate, and we'll be friends with them, and we'll be hanging out for a long time, for many years, many years.
It's so important that we recognize that we're all on different journeys, and so Josh just pointed out that he hasn't seen them all, but that's because he doesn't feel the need to, and that's fine. Like it's like I had a bunch of the things that happened to me. Oh, and I guess it was 2 years of very intense things happening to me. They weren't me asking for them; they were just happening to me. Like, and a lot of the time,
What
I was
you
like,
needed
what
at the
is
time.
Yeah, they were definitely trying to reshape me, reorientate me to whatever they wanted me to do. Which, I mean, it's pretty evident that I'm doing whatever I'm doing now. I presume that was what they wanted. God, I hope
Well, everyone requires a different level of ministry, right? Everyone requires different ministry.
Yeah,
We're not all the same.
And it's different for everyone, and it's nothing to do with any. There's no importance to any particular person. And I want to read a passage from the UB.
195.
That's really important about the. Actually, it's from paper 48, and it's actually from the old book, from the original book. It's page 555.5, but it's actually paper 48. So, and I'll read it really quickly.
Got your number.
It's not about Jeremy.
Paper A67549.
I haven't read that book. So it says in paper 48, it says, you will learn that you increase your burdens and decrease the likelihood of success by taking yourself too seriously. Nothing can take precedence over the work of your status sphere, this world or the next. Very important is the work of preparation for the next higher sphere, but nothing equals the importance of the work of the world in which you are actually living. But though the work is important, the self is not. When you feel important, you lose energy to the wear and tear of ego dignity, so that there is little energy left to do the work. Self-importance, not work importance, exhaust immature creatures. It is the self element that exhausts, not the effort to achieve. You can do important work if you do not become self-important. You can do several things as easily as one if you leave yourself out.
Amen.
And that there speaks to the importance of us getting our egos the hell out of the way. And what if you're desirous of doing good work, maybe the opportunity comes to do it. But when you do good work, don't start going on about how important it is. Just keep doing it. As Jeremy coined a new phrase, do
Do the work.
do the work.
Work on your
don't
doo-doos.
the ego. it's vital but I think that paper, that section of that paper is trying to point towards, if anybody does anything good on this world right now, they very easily fall into the delusion of ego because they've done something good,
Especially when they think they're doing important work, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"I'm doing important work, so therefore I'm important." They lose.
That's right.
They
And
lose
it's
the
not.
plot.
Yeah, that's right, and it's very. This is a problem that this world has. To go back to, it's not. Sure, the governments have been blockading the truth of many disclosures for 80, 90, 100 years, but the problems persist for much longer, and the idea of self-aggrandizement and liberty without license has been a problem here for a long time.
It always comes at the
And
expense
that-
of others people's
and
liberties.
it comes at the expense of other people's liberties. Exactly, Jeremy. And that, as part of disclosure, because the fundamental thing about disclosure that we're talking about here is bringing truth to obliterate the shackles of whatever the hell power is right now. Truth needs to overcome whatever we're being taught to believe, because it
Supreme douchery is what the shackles are.
it is. It's like, I mean, like the acquirement of material wealth. I mean, like at the moment you leave your mortal body and you wake up on the next world, where do you think there are ATMs
like,
there
I
where you
did
can
it!
cash out? I did it. I left so much material nonsense behind, and it's like there's no versatility to it. But one of the problems that we're trying to get to with disclosure is that people only believe right now, a lot of people only believe, at least in a nebulous way, that this life is all there is. They're not preparing for the next sphere, which that quote I just said. They don't have preparation for that. Because if you genuinely recognize that when you leave here, that you are going to take with you only the value that you have, that you may be very different in the way you approach your daily acts. Like you said, Kory, take advantage of the opportunity to be of service to someone, to in a moment where you could promote yourself, instead do work for other people. If the world changed its attitude towards recognizing that the things we do now count forever, we'd all act differently.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good attitude to have. Service to others, because rising tide lifts all boats, right?
The rising tide lifts all boats. Exactly, Jeremy.
When Gary was talking about struggling with your ego and not letting your ego get in the way, the whole time I was thinking how important it is to just inspire other people. If you're somehow struggling with your own ego, just inspire other people and uplift other people, and don't try to like pigeonhole this position that you're in of like, okay, so like, I interact with orbs and I videotape orbs, but if I only focused on myself, my ego would get so big and I wouldn't be trying to inspire other people. But to keep my ego small and to also help bring disclosure to the world and help people grow spiritually, I try my best to inspire people. So just figure out what works for you and how you can inspire other people to grow spiritually and to connect and to keep yourself also level so that your ego doesn't get big.
Yep. I think a lot of that has to do with being genuine and honest.
I think we're seeing that like a convergence of people. A lot of us on here are building a channel called 606, but we're finding other people who are the same way. They're motivated by the work. They're not motivated by what the work may say about them.
Yeah, we're not.
And Kory, you're an excellent example of that. And there's lots of. I mean, I think let's just talk about Chris Bledsoe for a minute, because
I would love to.
Yeah, because Chris, the thing that strikes me about Chris is he's an everyman, right? And I've not met him personally, and I know a few of you guys have. But what I love about him is he just comes across as humble, incredibly humble, but also he's willing. If somebody asks him a direct question, he can answer it almost in like 3 or 4 words. It's like, do you genuinely believe that these beings? Yes, I do. And they're like, what? And there's no like need to sort of embellish it or make a big deal out of it. He's more like, no, this is how it is. He's not trying to aggrandize himself. He's just got this kind of way he rolls. It's just I find it very
his
appealing.
convictions speak.
Yeah, and he represents, to me, he represents the type of person that will be prosperous for the betterment of the world to come. It is to be humble in your approach to other people, humble in your approach to God, and then you can be dynamic.
And what he went through was a very humbling experience.
They worked him over, and
Yep.
now I think a lot of us have been worked over. Okay, but Chris, having read his book, it really hit my heartstrings about how much he was worked over, and what comes through that is the sincerity, the constant sincerity in him, and he has it hasn't changed him in the slightest. It maybe have humbled him more, which is perfect because that's exactly what he needs to be. But as an emissary who's helping other people find the phenomenon, which, you know, Kory, you're a good example, right? But Jeremy, like, he goes out in his backyard, and there's always beings out there, right? And he's like, hey there, right? And it's like, right? This is what the Urantia book would call it, the benign virus of love that's propagating across this planet. It's because these beings are loving us, and they're coming closer to people who love them back. And I think he just represents the kind of person that I hope people can recognize that you can be like on this world. That you can be that way. You don't need to be some hot dogging materialist to actually be of importance to the people of this world. You can model genuine loving behavior.
Yeah, these things didn't happen for him to impress people with.
No, he's not interested in impressing people, right? And neither of any of us. I'm not interested in impressing anyone. I want people to find their own inspiration, right? I couldn't give a flying crap what people think about me. I just want other people to find within themselves that disclosure, that personal disclosure to themselves that allows them to hold that no matter what anybody says to them or whatever happens to them, to realize that they are loved and that the universe supports them.
I think these stories are so beneficial to show people that it's okay. You can be afraid, but it's nothing to be afraid of. So you go through these experiences, and then at the other end of it, you're like, holy shit, there was nothing to be afraid of, and it's okay to open your mind and open yourself up to these possibilities. You are protected.
So there's a part in Chris Bledsoe's book, UFO of God, where it talks about the experience where Tim Taylor is at their house, and it puts something in Chris's hand, right?
The piece of metal.
Right. But this is very important. He asks Chris a question when he has a reaction to it. He says, why you? Why you? I know why, Chris. Because he is so sincere. He is not trying to be something. He is so sincerely aligned with spiritual values. There's a confluence of situations, or, you know, these agencies are able to work with him and set this up because of his sincerity, because he doesn't have his ego involved. He is the everyman. He is so simple and kind, and I just, you know, this speaks to something deeper, you know, like the fact that Tim would ask him that. It's like, I get why, Chris. There's a reason why he is allowed to have this experience and share it with people and motivate people.
And isn't it so
I love
funny?
what you. Oh.
Sorry, go ahead, Gary.
It's a very quick thing that's from the UB that I just pulled up. I'll be super fast. It says.
What did you do, Kory?
I take it back. Shut up. Go ahead, Gary.
Cut.
It's something that inspired me, Shayne, what you said. And it says, it's from paper 39, the Urantia book, and it says, the keys to the kingdom of heaven are sincerity, more sincerity, and more sincerity.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing too is also, you know, Jesus talks a lot about having that childlike belief in, you know, not to, you know, say anything derogatory towards Chris, but he does have that childlike belief, and there's absolutely,
I love that about him.
yeah, I mean, it's absolutely beautiful to see that,
Yeah.
Well,
you know,
what more sincere than a child's trust? That's like insanely
right,
sincere.
Yeah.
right, because we are all children of God. We are all child,
Always and
and we
forever.
should have that childlike trust, and most of us don't. But you see that through him when he's talking about his experiences. This childlike trust comes through, and it's really beautiful to see.
That's a great
Yeah.
insight. Yeah.
I think I would personally love to say a few things about Chris because I love the guy. So if
Do
I
it.
can have this stage for a second.
It's
So
not like you know him or something.
I love Chris. You guys have said a lot of things that I want to touch on. The thing about Tim Taylor, don't come looking for me. Don't come find me. I want nothing to do with you. Don't come looking for me. But how funny is it that you are somebody who is so advanced, evolved, connected with NHI? There are probably a lot of things behind the scene that we don't even know about. Yet you can't figure out why Chris has been chosen for this position. And Shayne, I think you laid it out. Josh, I think you laid it out. I mean, Gary, Jeremy, you all have said things that lay it out pretty clearly as to why Chris has been chosen for this. He's humble. He has just this unconditional love for this phenomenon. Not only that, but for his family and for other people.
Yeah.
Unbelievably humble. I'll just share a really quick experience. The last time I saw Chris, I brought my mom with me, and my mom and Chris and I were having a conversation, and I've worked closely with Chris, and he was telling my mom about future endeavors that he hopes to include me in. And I said, Chris, whatever you want to help spread your message. And he was like, it's not my message.
Yep.
It is God's message. It is the lady's message. And that is just a conversation between three people, right? This wasn't anything that anybody was overhearing. He's an incredibly humble person. During these events that I've worked closely with him, we are the ones that have to keep him time conscious because he will sit and speak to every person for as long as humanly possible. We have had many people become upset at certain events because they're like, he's talking to somebody for 45 minutes or an hour, and that's going to take all day. And then there's people like us working behind the scenes that are like, Chris, you got to keep the line moving. And he hates that. He wants to talk to every person. He wants to connect with every person.
It's very Jesusonian.
I love that.
Would take all day, every day to speak to people. We will bring him food and he will not eat it. He will push it aside and just keep speaking to people. He's an unbelievable person, and it breaks my heart to see people that call him a grifter or call him this, call him that, a hoaxer, whatever. It doesn't matter. Recently, someone important said something to me about not addressing the darkness and that you should only address the light. And that's something that I'm trying to take with me as I carry on, is that whenever people say things that are negative or bad, that it's not that the darkness doesn't exist. I acknowledge the darkness exists. Don't address it. Don't waste your time. Don't validate it. Don't waste your time on it. Those people are accepting the darkness into their own life, and that's fine. Chris is an unbelievable person. I mean, I have so many amazing things to say about him. My life would not be where it is without this man in so many ways. And we talked a little bit about fear and having frightening experiences. And there were times where his son, Chris Jr., had a very frightening experience on the Cape Fear River. And Chris Jr. has ultimately overcome that. I mean, he has a tattoo of the little red-eyed beings he saw on his body that he looks at every day, and he's like, I got this. He is facing that fear. That's what I want people to take away from this, is face the fear, understand that you are a strong person. You're stronger than you give yourself credit for. I know every single person listening to this sells themselves short. Don't do that. Focus on the light. Bring the light willingly into your life. And, you know, I could go on and on. I'll just leave it there for now.
Like
Yeah, Chris,
when is it Tim Taylor that made that comment? Why you?
Why
Yes.
you?
The
Yeah.
fact that he asked that shows you where he is in his mind.
Right.
The
Right.
self-importance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of ego.
Mm-hmm.
I think that
I think his
he-
association with Chris probably transformed him a little, actually.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. I know
Yeah.
Diana Pasulka talks about that in her book, American Cosmic, I believe it's called, which I think was a good book. Her second book, called Encounters, I was not as big of a fan of. I did enjoy American Cosmic, which was really about Tim Taylor. They went to the Vatican. He felt I don't want to say born again, but yes, in a sense, when he went to the Vatican, he felt, I need to change my life. So he might be on a different trajectory.
Yep.
I'm not necessarily judging the guy. I really don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and see a dark figure standing above me. Like, what did you say about me on that podcast? Tim Taylor, leave me alone.
Tim the Toolman Taylor.
I think you might find you've got more protection than you believe, Kory. So don't worry about
I
it.
think so. I would think so. Yeah, but
Just be like, I don't think so, Tim.
no, thank you. And I
Get
don't
outta
even
here.
think Tim Taylor is his name. Tim Taylor.
yeah, I was gonna say he has a bunch of aliases.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's an anagram for something. I don't remember exactly what Tim Taylor stands for, but I should probably Google it. But I remember reading something sometime where they rearranged the letters, and it's like mind blowing, like what it actually means. But anyway,
Interesting. That's interesting. But it's like I mentioned it before. Like the people that are going to be responsible for the change in this world will be the ones that are antithetical to those who are celebrated here, right? It's humility that counts.
okay, I just Googled it super quick. Tim Taylor, and I have not fact checked this. This is within just a few moments of Googling this. It spells the word mortality. So, I don't know. But anyway, continue.
Oh, rearranged. Okay, yeah.
Right.
There's an established narrative that is I think Shayne said it earlier on, is eroding. But it's not just the erosion that matters, right? We're not anarchists. None of us are anarchists. We're not looking for anarchy. What I see is a symbiosis where one thing is collapsing, which would be the unbelief in the reality of the universe, the non-belief in God, the confusion that has been inculcated here for so long, and as that it's not like that. It's like people are tiring of being told that, and it's eroding, and then to meet that's coming up with to catch it as it falls is a spiritual renaissance. That there's a reality.
I think a lot of people are getting bored
to-
of the secularism of it all.
I think so. I think it's kind of like, I'm tired of looking at this, and they change the channel. Like the end of the movie The Truman Show, where he gets out and they're like, "Yay!" everybody's cheering, and then they're like, "What else is on?" Right?
Yep.
And they just change the channel, right? And and there's nothing else. It's exhausted. It's ran out. It's ran its course, and in many ways the secularism is running its course at the end of The Truman Show, and you can't stop 8 billion people who are searching for truth when the gravity towards looking in a different direction gets too much. It's not stoppable, and I genuinely believe that's beginning. I don't know the timeline on it. All I know is that I'm on the side of that progress, and I know all of you are too.
Well, speaking to Chris Bledsoe, the thing he talks about in his experience when he meets the lady is this idea of, you hear, waking the people up, right? So that is definitely the case, that most people are asleep, completely asleep to spiritual realities. And that's why, it's very difficult for me often to have these experiences to actually, Lindsay and I were talking about this today. You know, going to the Monroe Institute, right? And you experience these, you know, you have these experiences basically curated for you. These beings know where you are at, and they are setting things up for more growth because essentially we're all asking for it. And then our last day, Kory, our last day at the Monroe Institute was all about reintegration, right? Reintegrating back into normal life, which means secular materialist life where most stuff is bullshit and truth is hidden.
Preach.
Back into the Matrix you go.
Right.
There you go.
And it's like you've experienced reality, something deeper, like this deeper love. And for me, I haven't even truly disclosed all the things I experienced at the Monroe Institute because it was curated for me. It was so like idiosyncratic, completely. What's the point of even talking about it? Because I'm the only person that's going to get it. God literally set this up for me because I was willing to receive it. And then you go back into this world that's telling you those things aren't true. Like, fuck all of that. You know,
Yeah.
that's why
The thing about the
we're
truth,
doing
you
these
can't
things.
unknow it. You can't unknow the truth.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very curated experience, not even just curated by the Monroe Institute, but Shayne, like you said, curated by God. My first night there, before we had, I don't even think we had done any meditations. I think this was just the meet and greet day, and they went over a bunch of stuff. That night, I had one of the most vivid dreams I've ever had, where I was dying. And it was so intense that when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I feel like I just went through an ego death. Like it was representative of what the rest of the week was going to be like. You are stripping yourself of an ego. There are parts of you that are dying here. And it's not in a bad way. Yes, it sounds pretty like, shocking, but it's an unbelievable experience. And we experienced things that, like I had mentioned at the top of this recording, that were like quantum entanglement, which everybody is capable of psychic experiences and psychic powers, and you are more than your physical body. It just takes a little bit of effort and exploration. Everybody just needs to put in a tiny bit of effort and you will see what comes to you. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is. We all have our free will, right? But when we consent to these experiences, when we open up to it, these unbelievable experiences can and do happen.
No, you're right. I've got a quote I want to find for you guys. Yeah. Let me find this thing. This quote.
Hey, cheers to disclosure.
Cheers to disclosure. We've been disclosing all night.
What up, eh?
Are we still
Straight
talking
from the
about that?
bottle.
I'm just kidding.
Just whenever you edit it, make me look less idiotic.
It's not
Yeah, well,
I know
possible.
that might be hard to do.
There's not a
Make
filter in
us
the
all look
world.
perfect. Hey Gary, you might have to use AI. Make us all look perfect.
Right.
Imperfections of faces.
I just want to look like a Canadian.
We'll call this episode "Perfections of Days."
We got rosy cheeks,
I'm just going to find this quote from page
eyes
34.
of wonder.
Yeah, so we were just picking up on the fact that we're all taking different journeys, right? And ministry comes to us where we're at our status, right? And is curated. The experiences that Josh has had, and I've had, and Jeremy's had, and Shayne's had, and Kory's had, and all the other people we know have had, has always been personally curated. And what I thought was really interesting was Shayne and Kory talking about trying to reassimilate with secular society. It's
Who wants to
it's
do
really
that?
Well, because you've been given it's like you've tasted something that you've never tasted before.
Given a glimpse into reality.
You've been given a glimpse. You've been given a view of something that up until that time you didn't know.
But it goes back to that quote where the work is important on this planet right now, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to derail you, but it feels a little bit like peeking beyond the veil.
Yeah.
From the perspective of where we are, from the perspective of this world, it is peeking beyond the veil. But but just to qualify that for a moment, the veil, very few people are this side of the veil. The people on this world, yes, sure, we're behind the veil, and the other side of the veil is the truth, where we're obfuscated and we're confused to be behind this veil. The universe in general is not confused about the truth. We are an outlier being behind this veil, and there's something. I'm going to read both paragraphs of this, and we'll work out what to do with it. So, there's something really wonderful written by a mighty messenger, who is somebody who previously was a human being during a rebellion on their world, which is not exactly like we're dealing with. We're dealing with the repercussions of a rebellion, but this being was dealt with a rebellion, and they came through with flying colors, and they are now a perfected being who has been embraced by the Trinity, and they're now roving around the universe, as I like to say to Josh, spitting truth, and but beautifully done. And at the end of this paper, which is the local universe mother spirit, which I think engages with a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about, this mighty messenger has a couple of paragraphs that they get to speak directly to us. So I'll just read it and see how it vibes. It says, those God-knowing men and women who have been born of the Spirit experience no more conflict with their mortal natures than do the inhabitants of most normal worlds. Planets which have never been tainted with sin nor touched by rebellion. Faith sons work on intellectual levels and live on spiritual planes far above the conflicts produced by unrestrained or unnatural physical desires. The normal urges of animal beings and the natural appetites and impulses of the physical nature are not in conflict with even the highest spiritual attainment, except in the minds of ignorant, mistaught, or unfortunately over-conscientious persons. And this last paragraph is the coolest, because this person is giving us a petition for us to move forward, and they say, having started out on the way of life everlasting, having accepted the assignment and received your orders to advance, do not fear the dangers of human forgetfulness and mortal inconstancy. Do not be troubled with doubts of failure or by perplexing confusion. Do not falter and question your status and standing, for in every dark hour, at every crossroad in the forward struggle, the Spirit of Truth will always speak, saying, This
is the way.
Is the way.
Hell yeah.
I love that. That's like one of my favorite quotes.
And that is the Spirit of Jesus.
There is the Spirit of Jesus. The Spirit of Truth is the Spirit of Jesus. And that is, that being, that high being is letting us know that no matter what, just keep on trucking.
And they would know he went through it all.
He went through it all. And
Dude, literally,
at some point, that being was dealing with the same shit or worse than we are dealing with now.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. The greatest human being who ever lived on this planet, the most spiritually aligned.
Donald Trump.
The
greatest spiritual person that's ever lived
Yes.
on this planet. Take it away.
which he was. The best.
I'm just thinking about the greatest spiritual person that's ever lived on this planet. I really
It's
feel
obvious.
like Shayne has something to say about that.
Oh, I thought you were saying it was me.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
I was setting you up.
Oh my god.
No, it's me. I was talking about myself, guys.
It's me.
Roll credits.
We're out.
Start wiping.
Star White?
The fee is me.
This got so derailed.
Hell yeah.
However,
Flip it and reverse it.
for the record, Jesus was the greatest human being to ever live. And he got hung upon a cross. That should inform us about how we can expect to be treated for following spiritual truths.
While the world is still deranged, if you stand for truth, you're going against the mechanism that perpetuates on this world.
Right.
What is that mechanism?
And that's
Where does it come
The
from?
mechanism is the preventing the truth from coming.
What is causing that mechanism? What is the cause of? So what
The
Shayne just
line
said,
of the Pharisees.
So what was just said, right, is that there's a mechanism, right, that is designed to prevent you from, adhering to the truth. As I'm understanding what was just said, right? So what is that mechanism? Where is that mechanism coming from? Why is that mechanism there?
Caligastia.
Oh, well, it is. I mean, that's so there's a current mechanism that's happening, but the origin of that mechanism is Caligastia.
Yeah, but I think you can discover it for yourself from just sincerely learning about the story of Jesus's life. Like, this is something that literally happened on this planet. The events of his life are recorded. They've been presented to us. You can engage with us or choose not. But for those of us who have read that or learned about it, it is one of the most incredibly spiritually uplifting stories that somehow makes everything in life, it gives perspective to all of it, and informs so much of what we're experiencing, what we're going through, and but you have to open up to it. You have to be willing.
Most relatable person that's ever lived.
Yeah, you know what's interesting to me is it's almost like he left a deliberate legacy of that difficulty, because he knew that we were going to be suffering long term with difficulties analogous to what he dealt with. It's almost like his life and teachings are the way shower for the difficulties we're all dealing with, and I think that's really important to remember.
Oh, 100%.
My
Like that's
fire.
Jesus.
Tell me why.
Okay, let's not do the South Park, Christian music.
It's all going to end up on the editor's floor. I'm gonna edit this with you, Josh, and I'm gonna be slashing this thing. Slash! Flat! No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I never want to hear you say that.
Good luck, though. Good luck. It's gonna be harder than you think.
Oh, I'm
What
certain.
encouraging
it is.
words.
Wah, wah. Josh is a wet blanket.
You got this. You got this.
It'll be okay. It's gonna.
Just mute me and you're fine.
Well, I'm struggling to mute myself right now because the dog's balking at somebody outside. But
Balking.
Walking.
The dog is
The dog
balking.
is
Walking.
it's balking.
I'm from Boston.
The dog is balking.
You firefighter.
That fucking dog.
That fucking dog.
Give
you
me your
firefighter.
That just sounds
dog.
like Marissa Tomei, right, from My Cousin Vinny.
2 Utes are out there
I mean,
talking.
I think we did a really good job, people.
it was
okay?
fun.
I think so.
And I don't
Yeah.
even think there's going to be a ton of editing. Couple
No,
of
I
Donald
don't think so.
need to be revoked.
No, kidding me.
Yeah, you
Come
gotta
on.
I did think
gotta
that
get-
was really funny, though.
Keep it in.
I think I do.
I must have missed that
think-
part.
I do think it's funny when people. I mean, listen. I personally want people to lighten up and be able to joke about shit. And how else are you supposed to do that unless you display that and open it
You
up?
can't give it
Yep.
power.
Yep.
It's
Like,
okay
you
to
can't
talk
give it power.
shit and throw in a joke or two, and it doesn't need to be that fucking serious.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
100%.
Don't give bad things power. You know,
Right.
give them the same incredulity you would yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just
It's not that
there's
serious.
It isn't that serious, no.
So I think the real question here is how are we gonna wrap this bitch up?
You already
That's
know.
something.
You do the thing.
Oh no.
You don't want to do it that way.
Oh, we're gonna start wiping out, right? Yeah. Well, we could
You're
do
gonna
that.
make me
But we
fart
should-
and ask the question, aren't you?
I mean, how long you been reading that book?
How long you been reading that book?
You should. We should probably think of something good to summarize it. But I
could
think
sign
Shane
off
and
like the
Josh should
Truman
lead on
Show.
that.
If I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
You're leaving it to us after
Yeah, I think
this?
so. Yeah.
No, you guys
Well-
hijacked it. You guys
well-
you hijacked the intro. You have to hijack the outro.
All right.
I almost
That's
right.
like somewhat like that Truman Show.
I am
thing.
Josh
Of, like,
Abernathy.
what if we?
This has been Keystone Corner. I love all you guys. See ya.
Yeah.
Peace.
There's something.
Gonzaga!
There's something
No, there's-
really.
Wait,
there's
wait,
something
wait.
really profound about the end of the Truman Show.
Well,
It's
I was
actually
gonna say.
incredibly profound. Good
What-
afternoon, good
Kory
To
evening.
all of our
talk, for
viewers that
God's
haven't
sakes.
seen that, let me spoil it for you.
But we're gonna go straight and start talking about the end.
Yeah, it's on a boat, and it's all fake.
I think it goes in a circuit because I think he says that at the very start too. So
Okay, yeah, we need to end it. I just spilled all over my.
No, that's
Oh my God.
classic.
That's
Classic.
the opening.
That's the opening.
Gary's gonna edit that into the intro.
How do you humans do this?
Idiot can't even drink.
Student
couple.
visitors, am I right?
Nothing else to do but crack open another one.
Here we go.
What was that 6?
5. If
Hey,
I was
yeah.
6, I'd be like
We end this
cross-eyed.
on a
Like,
cheers.
Oh shit! I thought you were that the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay,
need to. We
let's
need
censor
to.
us out
Cheers.
before we do
That's
this.
part of the outro.
Let's sort it out. Okay, so
On Imperfections of Days.
Oh, we're not cheersing. What the fuck?
oh wait. Okay. Well,
Well,
Gary
we can
fucked me up.
cheers. We'll have to cheers again here in a
Imperfections
second.
of
But
There's only one way we end this, and that's on a star wipe. But we can definitely end on a cheers first.
Cheers, then start ripe. Yeah.
cheers.
Start wipe. It's the
Love
type
you
of toilet
guys.
paper you need to get.
Prost.
Prost. Cheers.
Prost.
Josh,
And star wipe.
it's star wipe and we're out.
That's gonna be the best.